Have you ever wondered how a single name could change the entire course of human history? And not just any name, but a name that continues to inspire and transform millions of lives even after 1,400 years. You know, it's fascinating when you think about it. Today we're diving deep into something truly special, the profound meaning and lasting impact of Prophet Muhammad's name, peace be upon him. And trust me, what you're about to learn might completely change the way you view your own personal growth journey. Here's the thing, by the end of this video, you'll discover 5 incredible insights that will not only inspire you, but give you practical tools to transform your daily life. And wait until you hear about the 4th one. It's absolutely mind-blowing. You know what's crazy about our world today? We're more connected than ever, yet somehow feeling more lost than ever before. Like seriously, look around. Everyone's rushing, stressed out, scrolling through their phones, trying to find some kind of direction, right? And let's be real here, we're all feeling it. That overwhelming pressure to keep up, to find meaning, to figure out our purpose. Sometimes it feels like we're just floating in this massive ocean of information, doesn't it? But here's what's really interesting. While we're all out here searching for answers in the latest self-help books and motivational videos, there's this incredible source of wisdom that's been right in front of us for centuries. You see, when we look at the life and teachings connected to Prophet Muhammad's name, peace be upon him, we find something remarkable. It's like discovering this ancient blueprint for dealing with modern-day challenges. And the best part? These aren't just some theoretical concepts. They're practical solutions that have stood the test of time. Ready to see how this all connects to your life? Because trust me, what comes next might just be exactly what you've been looking for. So, let me break this down for you real quick. We're about to explore 5 game-changing aspects that'll completely transform the way you think about personal growth. First, we'll uncover the powerful meaning behind the name that changed the world. Then we'll dive into some mind-blowing leadership principles that are still relevant today. After that, we'll explore daily habits that you can start using, like right now. But that's not all. We'll also discover how to build unshakable resilience in tough times. And finally, I'll show you exactly how to apply these timeless teachings in our modern world. And let me tell you, what we're about to cover in the next few minutes, it's pretty much everything you need to level up your life. Trust me, you'll want to stick around for this. Ready to dive deeper? Because this next part, it's going to blow your mind. You know what's absolutely fascinating? The name Muhammad isn't just a name. It's literally a description of character. In its purest form, it means the most praised one, or the one worthy of praise. But hold on, because this is where it gets really interesting. Imagine being given a name that would literally become your life's mission. That's exactly what happened here. See, before Prophet Muhammad was even born, this name was super rare in Arabia. Like seriously, hardly anyone used it. And that's what makes this whole thing even more mind-blowing. Here's the cool part. This name wasn't chosen randomly. There's this beautiful story about how his grandfather had a profound spiritual experience that led him to choose this specific name. It's like, imagine having a name that's not just a label, but a whole prophecy about who you're going to become. And boy, did that prophecy come true. Think about it. Here's someone who became so praised that even today, billions of people add peace be upon him after mentioning his name. That's some serious impact, right? But here's what really gets me. The way this name reflected his actual character. We're talking about someone who was so remarkable that even his enemies, yes, people who disagreed with him, couldn't help but acknowledge his honesty and integrity. They literally called him the trustworthy one. How crazy is that? And you want to know the really cool thing? This whole concept of living up to your name. It's not just some ancient history lesson. It's like this powerful reminder that our names, our identities, they carry meaning. They have purpose. But wait, I can almost hear you thinking, that's great and all, but how does this actually help me in my life today? Well, that's where things get really exciting. Because what we're about to explore next is going to show you how these same principles of character and leadership can literally transform the way you live and work. And trust me, when you see how these ancient leadership principles connect to modern success, your mind is going to be absolutely blown. Want to know what I mean? Well, let's dive into that next part. Ready to discover some leadership secrets that most people completely miss? Because this next part, it's a total game changer. Let me tell you about a kind of leadership that's so powerful, it literally changed the world. And yet it's so different from what most people think leadership looks like. You see, when we think of leaders today, we often picture these big shots in fancy offices, right? But Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, he completely flipped the script on what leadership means. And get this, he was literally the most influential person in his community, but you'd never guess it by the way he lived. Here's a mind-blowing example. There's this famous story where some visitors were looking for the leader in a gathering, but they couldn't figure out who he was, because he was sitting just like everyone else. No special throne, no fancy clothes, no "look at me, I'm the boss" attitude. How crazy is that? But here's where it gets really interesting. This servant leadership style, it's exactly what modern companies are now discovering works best. Like, we're talking major corporations spending millions on leadership training to teach exactly what this man practiced 1400 years ago. Mind blown yet? Let me break down some practical examples that you can use right now. He would never ask someone to do something he wouldn't do himself. He always made time to listen. Like really listen to everyone, not just the important people. When someone needed help, he'd be the first one to roll up his sleeves and get to work. And here's the thing that really gets me, every single one of these principles, they're like success cheat codes for your personal and professional life today. But wait, you might be thinking, how exactly do I apply this in my daily life? Well, imagine walking into your workplace tomorrow with this mindset. Instead of thinking, what can others do for me? You start thinking, how can I serve others? The shift is subtle, but the impact? Absolutely massive. And speaking of daily practices, what if I told you there were specific habits that could help you develop this kind of leadership naturally? Because that's exactly what we're going to talk about next. Get ready, because these daily habits I'm about to share, they're going to completely transform the way you approach each day. All right, let's get super practical here. Because what I'm about to share isn't just some ancient wisdom. These are actual, real-life habits you can start using, like literally tomorrow morning. You know how everyone's obsessed with morning routines these days. Well, Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him, had the ultimate morning routine down pat. And the crazy thing, science is just now catching up to prove why these habits are so powerful. Let me share some game-changing habits that'll transform your day. First up, he'd start each day before sunrise. Now, I know what you're thinking. Ugh, another person telling me to wake up early. But here's the twist. It wasn't just about waking up early. It was about starting your day with intention and gratitude. Like taking those first quiet moments to just breathe, reflect, and set your mind right. Then there's this amazing practice of self-care that he taught. Get this, he'd actually balance his spiritual practices with physical needs. We're talking about proper sleep, staying hydrated, eating mindfully. Basically everything that modern wellness influencers are preaching today. But here's the real kicker. His evening routine was just as important as his morning one. He had this beautiful practice of letting go of the day's stress before sleeping. Think about how many of us lay in bed scrolling through our phones, holding on to all that anxiety, when we could be using this ancient wisdom to literally reset our minds. And speaking of dealing with stress, what I'm about to share next will completely change how you handle life's challenges. Because these resilient strategies, they're absolutely mind-blowing. Want to know how to stay strong when life gets tough? Well, buckle up because this next part is going to show you exactly how. Let's talk about something we all need right now, that unshakable strength to handle whatever life throws at us. And trust me, when it comes to resilience, there's no better example than Prophet Muhammad. Peace be upon him. Think about this for a second. Here was someone who faced every possible challenge you can imagine: loss, persecution, betrayal, you name it. But here's the thing that's absolutely mind-blowing. He never lost his cool, never lost his compassion. How incredible is that? Let me share with you one of my favorite stories. Imagine having to leave everything behind, your home, your comfort, everything you know, and start over from scratch. That's exactly what he did during the migration to Medina. But here's the crazy part. Instead of being bitter or angry, he turned that challenge into an opportunity for growth. And this is where it gets really practical for us today. Because let's be real, we're all dealing with our own challenges, right? Maybe it's work stress, relationship issues, or just feeling overwhelmed with life. But check this out. Here are some resilience boosters straight from his example. When facing a problem, he'd stay solutions-focused instead of dwelling on the negative. He'd always remind himself and others that after hardship comes ease. And most importantly, he'd maintain his daily routines even during tough times. But here's what really blows my mind. These aren't just historical facts. They're scientifically proven strategies for building mental toughness. Modern psychology is literally confirming what he practiced centuries ago. And speaking of modern applications, what if I told you there's a way to take all of this ancient wisdom and make it work perfectly in our fast-paced digital world? Because that's exactly what we're about to explore next. Ready to see how all of this fits into your 21st century life? Trust me, this next part is going to tie everything together. So here's the million-dollar question. How do we take all this incredible wisdom and make it work in our always online, super busy modern lives? Well, here's the beautiful thing. These teachings are actually perfectly designed for our times. Think about it. We're all craving authenticity, meaningful connections, and inner peace. Exactly what these principles offer. Let me show you how this looks in real life. That leadership style we talked about, perfect for today's teamwork-focused workplace. Those daily habits? They're your secret weapon for work-life balance. And that resilience? Well, in today's crazy world, who couldn't use more of that? But here's the real game changer. You can start implementing these principles right now. No special equipment needed, no complicated techniques, just practical wisdom that stood the test of time. And the best part? The more you apply these teachings, the more you'll see your life transform. Speaking of transformation, let me share something incredible with you. You know what's truly amazing? Everything we've talked about today, it's not just history, it's not just theory. It's a living, breathing roadmap for becoming the best version of yourself. Think about it. We've covered everything from the power of a name to building unshakable resilience. But here's what I really want you to remember. You have the power to implement these changes in your life starting today. Every great journey starts with a single step. And speaking of steps, let me show you exactly how you can take action right now. If this video resonated with you in any way, I want you to do something right now. Hit that like button and let me know in the comments, which of these principles are you going to try first? And hey, if you want to dive deeper into this journey of personal growth through prophetic teachings, make sure you're subscribed to Living Deen. We've got some incredible content coming up that you definitely don't want to miss. Remember to hit that notification bell too, because what's coming next week? Well, let's just say it's going to be game-changing. Want to know what I mean? Well, let me leave you with this powerful thought. The name Muhammad truly means the most praised one, but the real magic isn't just in understanding the name, it's in living its principles. And remember what we talked about at the beginning? About how one name changed history? Well, now you know why. And more importantly, you know how to apply these timeless teachings in your own life. And hey, if you're wondering about dreams and their deeper meanings in Islam, you absolutely need to check out my next video right here. Stop ignoring these dreams, Muhammad's hidden messages revealed. It's mind-blowing how these ancient teachings can help us understand our dreams today. See you in the next video, inshallah.